friends, it's Valerie. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an air fryer collab that is hosted by Sarah over from Sarah's Realm, and I will have her channel link down below in the description bar, as well as the link to the playlist with all the other lovely ladies who are going to be doing this collab. And it's going to be all based on air fryer recipes, and I've got some great ones for you. One of them is going to be some really delicious taquitos in the air fryer, and then I've got some like potatoes and smoked sausage, and then a little dessert that's going to be like an air fried apple with some ice cream. So good, so just keep watching because you don't want to miss out on this. This first meal is going to be some really tasty taquitos. I'm starting off by taking some chicken. If you have small chicken breast, use about 2. I'm using one really large one. I'm putting it in my Instant Pot, and I'm just seasoning it how I want it. Of course, you can use shredded chicken already that you have. You can use a rotisserie chicken. I just had a lot of chicken I need to use up, so yeah, I seasoned that with some actual buffalo sauce and chicken seasoning, some garlic powder, keeping it simple, a little bit of water in the Instant Pot. Since it's frozen and large, I'm gonna cook it for like 16 minutes and let that naturally release for a few minutes before, and then shred it however you want. You can shred it with a mixer or some forks. I just have the one chicken breast, so I just did it with a couple forks here. But yeah, you're just gonna want about 2 chicken breasts worth of meat here, so whether it be a rotisserie chicken or not. And then you're going to want some cream cheese. Started off with a quarter cup of cream cheese, which is about an ounce, and mine wasn't completely softened, so I stuck it down into the warm chicken to kind of help it soften a bit, and then I added some more later, which you'll see. So then I'm going to go ahead and add in 1/3 cup of Monterey Jack cheese, and then some minced Chipotle peppers. These are in the like adobo sauce. I'm having to remove the seeds from mine. I actually don't know if they always come with seeds or if there's different variations. I feel like I've bought these before without the seeds, but if you get them with the seeds like me, just go and remove those unless you want them. I didn't, and I'm just kind of dicing that up. You'll want about, say, a tablespoon of this to start off with. You can add more later, just depending if you want some more heat. And then also add in 1 tablespoon of diced jalapenos and about a 1/2 cup of the salsa verde here, and that's going to add a lot of nice flavor with all those little chilies, but nothing is too excessive. It's flavor. It's not really like so much of a heat. Yeah, so then just go ahead and mix that all together, making sure that your cream cheese really gets spread throughout and mixes well with all the chicken and sauces. And at this point, this is when I realized, I'm like, I need a little more cream cheese. You could leave it there if that's all you want, but I wanted it more creamy and I wanted a little bit more heat in there, so I added more. And not just heat, that like Chipotle and like adobo sauce adds like a nice smoky flavor, which is really good. So yeah, so I had to heat that cream cheese up for the second part because it just wasn't going to soften fast enough for me. Then I'm going to take these tortillas. I'm using these like 8-inch soft flour tortillas, and I did warm them a little bit so that they're a little bit more pliable. I think that's kind of necessary. I mean, a flour tortilla is better than a corn to fold, but you still don't want them to crack, of course. So next to me, you can't see it, I have a pan, but I'm just lightly warming them. Then you're just going to add some of your filling. This is up to your preference. Of course, you want to keep it thin enough to still roll. And yeah, just roll that up and place it in the air fryer basket. Of course, everyone's air fryer is going to vary on size. You can just do this in several batches, do whatever you need to do. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and roll those up, and you see I fit about 8 of them in my basket, and that's with them like being like pretty pressed against each other. And now I'm taking some olive oil. I'm brushing it on. You can also use one of those little sprayer type bottles, but I'm really just making sure that these are nice and coated. Nothing too excessive, but you want it to just help get nice and crispy. Yeah, and it also just, I don't know if you know what I mean, like when the oil makes it crispy but not like too dry crispy, if that makes sense. But yeah, just brushing all that on there. Then I'm just going to go ahead and place these in the air fryer for 400 degrees at close to 20 minutes total. You're going to check these, of course, from like your 15-minute mark. And I did have to flip them because the other sides weren't as crunchy. So about halfway through, I did flip those. And I will give you a little shot of that later. And while those are cooking, I'm throwing together just a really simple, like chunky guacamole. I'm just taking an avocado. Uh, you can multiply this as much as you need. This was pretty much a good amount for those 8 taquitos. And by the way, I meant to mention that the mixture of the chicken did come out to about 9 taquitos. I just didn't want to like overcrowd mine, so I had like one the next day for lunch, and I air fried it fresh. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and chop up just some Roma tomato and some white onion. This is one of those things where it's kind of a preference. If you want some red onion, if you don't like onion at all, you can add maybe some garlic. Actually, don't think I added garlic to this, which is surprising. I don't think I had any fresh garlic. So, uh, yeah, just add or don't add whatever you don't prefer. Like cilantro, I'm adding cilantro in right now. I know a lot of people don't like cilantro, so you can just omit that. And then I'm putting the juice in. And I started off with half of a lime, even though I do like things very limey. My boyfriend doesn't care for it to be too limey. So I'm just kind of testing out to see my ratios. I added in more of that tomato, a little extra onion, and I did end up using the other half of the lime because I felt like it was still fine. Of course, you're going to want to add some salt. You can even add garlic powder at this point. I used some of that Chipotle sauce that's came in those, or adobo sauce that came in those Chipotles, because it's added a great flavor to that guacamole, so you should definitely give that a try. And there I was showing you kind of how the other side of that looked before I flip them over and put them back in for the remaining time. I made some Spanish rice with this, and I will leave a little link down below or somewhere here for you to go see me make that in a different video. But these taquitos were phenomenal. We absolutely loved them. I loved all the flavor combinations that were in this. You had all that smoky, like chipotle adobo flavor with the green chilies, and then that chunky, like freshness of the guac. Just definitely recommend this recipe. This next meal is smoked sausage and potatoes with green beans. To start off, you're going to need about 4 to 5 medium-sized potatoes. I'm just using russet potatoes because it's what I had. If you have Yukon Golds or red potatoes, those would be great. You wouldn't have to take the skin off if you don't want to. I peeled mine, of course, because they are russets, and I cut them into rounds because I was going to be using this vegetable chopper and using the bigger size blade to get like a larger sized dice on that. And you can just dice these however you want, but you don't want them too large or they won't cook through in the amount of time, and everything else will kind of be unbalanced cooking with it and possibly burn. So then I'm just dicing up some onion. I just like put it in some large chunks. If you like onion a lot, just do one whole small onion. And then I threw the potatoes with that. I put some olive oil on that. Some garlic powder and some of this garlic herb seasoning. If you would also like fresh garlic, go ahead and add some of that. I was out still. And then I added some Badia Complete, and I'm just going to give that all a good toss to get it all coated and all those seasonings. You can add any other seasonings you'd like, salt and pepper, whatever you like basically. Even some Cajun seasoning would be amazing on these. I don't know why I didn't think of that at this time. I started these off at 400 degrees for 16 minutes, but I did need a few additional minutes later on because I added green beans and things in my air fryer. So I forgot to hit record for cutting the green beans, but I just cleaned up a pound of green beans, put some olive oil, and tossed them with some of this roasted garlic and herb, and then some lemon pepper seasoning, and maybe a little bit of garlic powder, and then I just put those in my air fryer with the potatoes because I have like an oven style air fryer. Then I have these smoked sausages. I just defrosted mine because I had them in the freezer. You can use kielbasa, any other type of smoked sausage you would like, and I'm just going to cut that into some coin shaped pieces. And when the potatoes were at about 15 minutes, I went ahead and gave them a little toss, and I added in these smoked sausage on top. If you put it in the whole time, your smoked sausage will burn. So I kind of was aiming just to have those in there for the last maybe 6 minutes, depending how dark you like them. And you'll see my green beans are below there, which is why I believe I had to add a few extra minutes, because there was just a lot going on in there, taking the heat from the air fryer, and it can probably circulate as well, of course. You might have to do this in batches if you have a smaller air fryer. These were really tasty. I served them with some like stone ground mustard. I've been loving these green beans as well with like lemon pepper. So I'm like addicted to like vegetables like broccoli, green beans, asparagus. They're like, I could eat them all the time, and like I've been loving them air fried, just tossing with like seasonings, and lemon pepper has been amazing to me recently. There's that mustard. This was really, really like tasty. And I loved how budget friendly this meal is. Definitely did not disappoint. This last recipe is a cinnamon and brown sugar apple. I'm starting off with 4 apples, and I'm going to go ahead and core and peel those. I'm using like Gala apples, I believe here, or Fuji, not sure, one of the two. And you can use any apple you really like. A Granny Smith would also be great here. This is just what I had and what I like. I cut those in half, and I'm going to place them in my bowl. You can vary the amount that you are making. Basically about a tablespoon of butter per apple. So I went ahead and melted 4 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to pour that over my apples, and I'm going to throw or just quickly give them a toss in that butter to kind of get them coated, and then I'm going to throw in some brown sugar. So here I'm using a little bit of light brown sugar and a little bit of dark brown sugar, maybe about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons worth of each, and some cinnamon. Just going to kind of eye that. I'd say at least a teaspoon's worth, and just go ahead and give those all a nice stir. Trying my best to get all those dry ingredients mixed with that butter so they can kind of like coat all the apples. Then you're just going to place them in your air fryer. I'm using my air fryer pan here, and you can put them like facing down. It doesn't really matter, they cook up just fine. I find that this way, with the core side facing up, it kind of holds more of that brown butter and cinnamon sugar stuff like on top of it, versus kind of sliding off when the apple's upside down. So of course I want that, because I want all that flavor, and I am air frying these at 375 degrees for 15 minutes. This is going to vary in the time depending on how crisp you like your apples. I wanted them very soft. This is them out of the air fryer, and I wanted to serve this with some ice cream, and I love butter pecan ice cream, so I put a nice scoop of that on top of these. These apples are also really amazing with oatmeal, so it's great for a breakfast option as well. We were having this for dessert. It was so good. My boyfriend asked for more, because we were just like, wow, for something so simple, it was very delicious. The ice cream is an added bonus, of course. It helped to have that nice hot and cold, and it was just really good. Definitely so good. All these recipes were great, and I hope that you enjoy them as much as we did. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos, and check out that playlist for everybody else's video linked in my description box down below. And I hope everybody's having a great week.